ServiceNow. Just wanted to record this quick demonstration to show our partners, customers, users, how if they have a need to connect Azure Event Hub to send data or event from Azure Event Hub to ServiceNow, because both ServiceNow and Azure Event Hub provide Kafka endpoint, and you can basically use the Kafka native protocol to consume or produce messages or event from both systems. You can use Mirror Maker to replicate whatever event is coming in Azure Event Hub and replicate in almost real time in ServiceNow using Stream Connect for Apache Kafka on the ServiceNow side. Here I'm showing the Microsoft Azure interface, and quick disclaimer, I'm not an Event Hub expert. Was just trying this for a customer that was asking me if we could replicate the data. So I created basically an event hub, a new event hub here, and the name is important because the name of the event hub correspond to the Kafka topic in your configuration. So it's important to know that whatever you create when you create a new event hub, this is the name of the Kafka topic. I'm showing here the consumer group with the value at the bottom because you need this when you configure Mirror Maker in the configuration file. It's asking for the consumer group. There is also an authentication key. I'm not gonna display it because I don't want to share this, but you get it from the share access policy. This gives you access to listen or produce from the message queue. Right, so that's pretty much it from an Azure perspective. Now, if I want to show you my instance, just to illustrate a bit better, I'm gonna open my ServiceNow instance. Hold on, I'm gonna just display this on the screen there. We're gonna put this here. So this is my instance. In here, if you go in the configuration of your instance, you can list your topic. If you have Stream Connect for Apache Kafka, I have a ton of test topic here, but the one I'm using today is the employee info topic, and the internal name match the name that I've put in Azure. So the both topic match from both the Kafka cluster on the Azure side and the Kafka cluster on the ServiceNow side. It's the same topic. So what I'm gonna do is produce a bunch of events in Azure Event Hub and show you how you can read it from ServiceNow. Just to show you here in my computer, I'm running Mirror Maker, the Mirror Maker script. I'm not using Mirror Maker 2, but I could. Here I'm just using the one that I found in the Kafka folder, Apache Kafka. So it's running on my computer, and there is some config file to describe how to connect to Azure Event Hub Kafka, and a config file to produce message we consume for Azure Event Hub. In that producer.properties, I'm referring to the ServiceNow Kafka cluster. And here I'm setting the name of the topic that I want to replicate over to ServiceNow. So this is the topic that I've named in Azure Event Hub, and it contains events. And those events will be pushed automatically using Kafka native protocol to ServiceNow if everything works well. The beauty on the Azure portal, they give you a little UI to generate a bunch of payload. So I'm gonna try to do this. Let's see if I select custom payload and I do a bunch of fraud detection. Let's see if this is gonna work. Maybe I should start small. What is stock data? Yeah, let's do stock data. Let's send this and see if that works. So it's sending a bunch of events here in Azure Event Hub, but in the backend, because I've configured the Mirror Maker, and I see Mirror Maker is not crashing or anything, it's just doing its job in the backend. It's replicating the data over to ServiceNow, producing those messages in real time in ServiceNow. So just to make it easy, I'm just gonna use for this test the topic inspector, and this allows you to kind of list the message that just landed into the Kafka topic in ServiceNow. So if I click here and I select the time, let's say I want to list the message that came from 5/19, and I do inspect topic. If I'm lucky, if everything works well in the demo, I should get to see the message. So you can see it there. So that should correspond to the payload that was sent via Azure Event Hub. So here I'm clicking on the payload, and you can see this is the data. Now it's in ServiceNow. So it's pretty neat. See that correspond to the different data. So here I'm looking at the symbol UVWX. This one. So the way it works, this is just me showing in the UI, displaying directly the raw event. With ServiceNow, you can use the ETL Kafka consumer to basically get the data directly from Kafka and insert the data right away into tables. Of course, you can apply transform map, but that's the way you will do to feed tables in real time, or you could trigger a workflow, have a Kafka trigger in your flow designer flow to insert those value in table. So just to recap what we've seen in that short demo, we've seen me creating events in Azure Event Hub and using the Kafka endpoint of Azure that you can configure when you are a customer of Azure Event Hub. I'm replicating the message, the event, over ServiceNow Kafka. For this, I'm using Mirror Maker, which is a component open source that comes with Apache Kafka. And it's a very simple configuration. There's basically 2 config files for the authentication and a Kafka Bootstrap server, and it's basically it. So I hope that answered the question on how to send data over to ServiceNow from Azure Event Hub using the Kafka native protocol. Thank you.